Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Gargoyles episode reviews. Today we're finishing up Her Brother's Keeper. Ready to enjoy some irony? It's served fresh every day, courtesy of David Xanatos. Today, he's arranged it so his enemies, quote-unquote, the clan and the police, have to protect him. It's all in the name of getting what he wants. Elisa Maza, Elisa's brother. Go read or watch part 1 of Her Brother's Keeper, if you missed it. Death from above. I don't know about you, but blowing somebody's chopper out of the air by shooting at it with my chopper isn't the most subtle way to murder somebody. And there's a picture of the obviously the pack has a chopper. Looks like we've got a little pack logo on the side. Pretty spiffy looking. It's an attack helicopter. So, I mean, it's interesting that the show went from a little gauntlet to something that has a functional attack helicopter. Nice. Chopper tailing Xanatos' helicopter begins firing at the other chopper. Oh, that escalated quickly. It's a little Gatling gun. Maybe Hyena is just a really bad gunner, because none of it are hitting. Derek is an excellent pilot. I wonder if he was a military pilot or he's just very experienced. Not one shot from the Gatling hits the chopper. Even the missile misses. Xanatos is calm and cool. He doesn't bother to wonder who's shooting at them or why, though maybe he voiced this earlier. Looking only mildly annoyed, he reaches back and pulls out a laser rifle from a locker. I'm surprised the Xanatos chopper doesn't have any weapons on it, mounted on the front. Hidden ones, 2020 moment. This won't be the last time we see the laser rifle in the chopper. In his matter-of-fact way, he slings the door open and leans out. I wonder what's going through Derek's head. Probably Xanatos just earned some respect points. Doesn't get more badder than this. There he is, Xanatos, hanging out the side and firing basically from the hip there with that laser rifle. I love that shot. Even one-handed and hanging out of a helicopter that's doing evasive maneuvers, he's an excellent shot, landing multiple laser hits on the pack chopper's cockpit canopy. It's shielded, sadly. Look at that. That would totally have been a headshot. He should shoot at where the rotor meets the rest of the chopper. The trio swoops in. They tear open the canopy and toss out the occupants, who have parachutes. Did the Gargs know this? That's about as brutal as they've been, honestly. Let's glide under a helicopter rotor. Physics, you have no power here. That rotor is what's keeping that bird in the air. I don't know if you could just glide up under it like that. Xanatos and Derek take advantage of the situation to get on out. The trio are set on flying the chopper. Yeah, flying it. Somehow, I don't think a single joystick chopper sim from the mid-90s is going to provide the training you need to pilot a real helicopter. The plan is to keep the bird from crashing into the city, I guess, though they never worried about that when rubble fell from the castle into the streets. Brooklyn tells Lex to use the force. He must, because they skid into an alley, managing only to tear up the belly and bend the rotors. Any landing you can walk away from, Lex quotes Launchpad from DuckTales. 2020 moment. Xanatos will say the same line in City of Stone after he lands the chopper. Somehow nobody notices the chopper land, despite people fleeing from it, and nobody checks the alley. Somehow the Gargs also managed to hide the chopper. The Force is my only explanation, especially since Disney bought Star Trek, or Star Wars, whatever. When they tell Goliath about what happened, Lex reports he can probably get it fixed by tomorrow. How? Even if he still has the welder from Temptation, where's he getting the spare parts? Does he have a metal machining workshop somewhere? Then you're telling me he has the know-how to take off? What about air traffic control? They'll see the chopper on radar. According to Greg, Kenner, the toy manufacturer, was the source of this horrible chopper idea. It's the same reason we had the motorcycle in Temptation. The real kicker is that Kenner never even got around to making a Gargoyles helicopter. So it was lose-lose. The episode is hurt a bit by its inclusion, and we don't even get a cool chopper toy. It would have been really cool if they'd had the red Xanatos Enterprises chopper, or even the pack chopper. That's plenty good. And the helicopter in this one was one of the worst parts of this plot, the most, stretching my belief to its breaking point part. Alright, anyway, don't be rude. Being a good detective and believing she needs to get more evidence for Derek than just the Gargoyles, which she hasn't even shown him yet, Elisa heads to talk to Hannibal Lecter, Fox, at Rikers Island Prison. Fox, yes, my third favorite character is back. Hello, Clarice. Have the lamb stopped screaming yet? There's Fox being pretty dramatic back there as she chats with Elisa, or taunts Elisa, as the case may be. Side note, looks like Elisa enjoys being the only friend the Gargoyles have. She might not admit it, even to herself, but she enjoys the privilege. Being a cool person's best friend feels great, right? She's one better. She's the best friend of the mythical species. Elisa sets into questioning, but she doesn't have to work too hard in this interrogation. Fox is more than happy to spill the beans. David, Fox calls him by his first name, unlike everybody else in the series, had her tell Hyena to hit the diamond exchange. Well, what about the assassination attempt? David made himself the next target. He set up his own assassination attempt. Why? Because what David Xanatos wants, he gets. And he wants Derek. Alright, that's rather unsettling. She doesn't say why he wants Derek. She does, however, say that Xanatos is, quote, the most brilliant man on the face of the earth. Well now, look, who is a fellow Xanatos fan? I love how one of the main antagonists has extremely loyal, intelligent, capable people on his side. I assume this goes beyond just admiring the man, though, as far as Fox is concerned. Light from above as she praises the virtues of David. I like that picture. But why is Fox telling Elisa all this? Was it because Xanatos left her to rot here? Fox flat out laughs. She's enjoying this game. You're so far behind him, it's pathetic. Fox is spot on. Fox says David doesn't have to hide his plans from Elisa. Indeed, he doesn't. Elisa needs to realize she's not the biggest fish in the pond. Xanatos could have just as easily had her and her brother killed. He didn't, and he's certainly not afraid of her. He's miles ahead of her and happy to show her just how impotent her anger is. According to Greg, when they wrote Thrill of the Hunt, they didn't know David and Fox were an item. Outside in the parking lot, Elisa pulls out the tape recorder. Is it legal to record prisoners' conversations? I really don't know. I mean, she's a cop. She can probably get away with whatever. She's going to play it for Derek. Again, trying to run his life. Over the river and through the woods, Goliath lands on a car beside hers. Thanks, buddy. I'm sure the owner will be thrilled with you. He reports that Xanatos' chopper went north. I'm sorry. Did no one call the police on the whole aerial combat escapade? Derek was okay with just letting it go? Derek of all people. I'm pretty sure an onlooker or two at least would have reported the one-sided dogfight. Elisa surmises the helicopter is headed for Xanadu, Xanatos' upstate retreat. Xanadu? What a perfect name. How can you not love a guy who names his retreat that? And here's a picture of the Xanadu logo from the movie. I never watched the movie. Yes, I went there. The 1980s were great, weren't they? Well, I'm told so. Anyway. Yeah, I don't remember much of the 80s. On a side note, is there no other place north of town he could be going? Why does it have to be Xanadu? It's not like she has access to his day planner. Like, he also has a research facility upstate. He could be going to that, or to one of his friends' houses, or just anywhere else. She, Goliath, and the trio pile into the upcycled Pat chopper. It's got black wing things on the sides. Broadway is the light of reason, or at least the thrower of lampshades. He wonders why they need a chopper when they have wings. Then he notes that the thing looks like a flying junk heap. Again, attempts by the writers to apologize for the chopper. Seeing more of an antagonist. Well, let's just back up. Alright, yeah, there's no way that chopper makes any sort of sense. There's also no way that it's going to have enough lift to carry all those gargoyles, or space, for that matter, up there. I just have to give that one a pass. Seeing more of an antagonist's holdings is always fun. We don't see much of Xanadu, other than the residential facilities, which is in a heavily wooded area. It's the main facilities that are designed to follow the castle theme, while remaining modern. See, it's made with stones there, and not logs, as you might expect, or something more rustic. My kind of camping there. Xanatos and Derek step outside for a stroll around the property. The sidewalks and street lamps mean nobody's going to be tripping over possums here. However, that also means anybody in the surrounding woods can not only see the possums, but also the people. Xanatos is saying how he's more and more convinced he was right to hire Derek. David's life is, quote, anything but dull, which gives Derek a lot of excitement to look forward to. I still say it's an odd selection for a bodyguard and pilot. Derek doesn't seem the type to bend or ignore the rules like Fox and Owen do. Xanatos seems to be doing his best to make friends with Derek. Jackal and Hyena are hiding in the shadows. They have laser rifles and night vision goggles. They take out the street lamp above Xanatos. Derek shoves his boss to the ground. Now, they could just as easily have just plain shot Xanatos, but I guess they want to play with their food first. There's Xanatos on the ground, looking a bit annoyed, and there's Derek going for a weapon. Well, Xanatos thought the place was secure, if that's any consolation there, Derek. Meanwhile, Hyena locks her rifle sights on Xanatos. Ah, I love the old days when you could say waste, assassination, and dead man, and then almost shoot somebody in the head on an animated Disney series. And there's a view through her scope, and that dot on that reticle is set right on Xanatos' head. Suspense, you're doing it right. Who should show up then with the clan in their helicopter? Wow, that sounds really dumb. But moving briskly on, Lex is pilot and gunner. He shoots the laser rifle out of Hyena's hand. I just, don't get me started. It still sounds dumb. Dumber. A battle ensues in which Lex uses the spotlight, laser beam, and a net missile from the chopper. He also saves Brooklyn, who gets smushed under a tree. Long, improbable fight scene short. The good guys win. Jackal is unconscious thanks to Broadway punching him in the face. Being a syndicated series, Gargoyles could get away with the face punch move. Hyena is hands up on the business end of Elisa's pistol. There she is in the spotlight. If you think she can just turn and run, you've never been in the forest at night. Hyena is smiling, though. Smiling, as if she's accepted what has happened, but she's got plans. It's an odd smile. Smile that confuses people is the caption. Sibling rivalry. The clan, Elisa, Derek, and Xanatos are gathered for a quick debrief. Snow is falling. How is there no snow already? It's the end of January in upstate New York. They should be up to their knees in it. According to Greg, the snow is symbolic. Greg made extra sure the animation studios didn't have any snow on the ground at Xanadu before this first fall. I'm assuming it means chilling of relationships, covering of faults, coming of winter, changing of the seasons of life, or whatever. Snow means bad driving conditions, in my opinion. Xanatos thanks them, though he thinks Derek could have handled it. Then David leaves Elisa and Derek so they can have, quote, a private moment. Yeesh, if he acted any more magnanimous, he'd be the Pope. I like that expression he's got on. And there's Derek looking, I don't know, defeated. Derek is amazed the gargoyles are real. Elisa is shocked that he knows. Who told him? Xanatos. That's right. Elisa couldn't work up the courage, but Xanatos showed Derek a video of the clan. Xanatos said he tried to help the gargoyles, but they rejected him. In the Edge, this is accurate, even if slightly tweaked in the context department. David also admitted he, quote, made a few mistakes dealing with the clan and Elisa. Yeah, he knows his main mistake was underestimating them. At this, Elisa goes off. Then Derek goes off. Goliath breaks them up. They don't know how lucky they are to even have siblings to fight with. His clan is all dead. Well, Goliath knows how to bring the guilt trip. This is siblings-themed episode, one that brings its point home powerfully. Appreciating the sibling you have, working with them, respecting them, but you still have to let them be themselves. How annoying would it be to have Elisa as a sister? Elisa apologizes. She was wrong to try and tell Derek how to run his life, but she's not wrong about Xanatos, and she's sure of that. She gives him the recording of Fox. According to Greg, did Derek ever listen to the tape? Greg didn't really say. He hedged and wondered why it would even matter. Yes, it's weird to recruit an employee the way Xanatos did, but he's a rich guy, so he can qualify as being eccentric. Also, Fox never said why Xanatos wanted Derek. That's up to interpretation. We end with Elisa and the clan back at the clock tower. The gargoyles turn to stone, leaving Elisa to look off into the snowy morning. Winter has come. What will she do about it? It's a poignant ending. It makes you go, and ponder what happened. Semi-final thoughts. Now that we know Xanatos' plot, let's slow down and take a better look at each phase of his gambit. Step 1. Jackal and Hyena hit the diamond exchange. They have to hit it at the exact time he's buying the Coyote diamond, because they have to steal it directly from him. I suppose they don't need to be exactly on time, just so long as they're in the building with him. This is in theory easy to arrange, as he just has Fox tell them to go. And then you really hope that nothing happened to delay them or tip them off or anything. Step 2. The cops arrive, namely Derek. This is tougher. He needed Derek to be in the chopper for this. How did Xanatos know Elisa would upgrade to a chopper and follow him that night? Did he get the roster list from the cop shop to know who was on duty? It's amusing and ironic that Elisa's grand idea was exactly what Xanatos wanted. Step 3. The chopper gets in some sort of trouble that requires Derek to show his skills. Again, tough but not impossible. Fox would tell the psychos that what weapons to bring and how to escape. They sure didn't think of this on their own. The tackle misfire move stretches belief, though, as it happened while Xanatos plowed into Jackal. The RPG could have hit the main cabin, or, worse for the plan anyway, missed entirely. I mean, when you look at the entire sky versus a helicopter, it's actually kind of a small target. If it hit the cabin and blew up Elisa and Derek, oh well, it's a bonus that Elisa was along then. Yeah, it's just hard to believe that it all hinged on something happening with that helicopter, and then Derek actually pulling off a rescue of it. I'm assuming there's probably some other contingency plans, or even some plans down the road. Step 4. Hyena and Jackal escape. Not too tough, considering the cops are busy not dying, and Xanatos didn't do anything but knock Jackal down and walk off. Now, that could have backfired. I mean, they really could have killed him there. That was, something that they obviously wanted to do. Step 5. Hope Derek accepts the offer. Money helps, plus Elisa urging Derek not to will make him more determined to do it, I guess. But again, how did Xanatos know this much about him? I think he must have had, informants of some sort. And step 6. Arrange the assassination attempt. Not tough on paper. Tell them to use the chopper. But the tough part in real life, that's not dying. What's the contingency plan if Derek doesn't dodge the enemy fire? What happens if the gargoyles aren't successful in stopping Hyena and Jackal? I'm assuming there was a critical weak point in the enemy chopper that Xanatos could hit if the Gargs failed. This is a chopper that Xanatos Enterprises supplied, after all. Maybe that's part of why the missile didn't hit and why the Gatling gun bullets didn't hit. But still, that's a big risk to take. I mean, if your chopper gets hit by any of those ballistics, you're not in for a good time. Step 7. Fox tells Elisa everything, rubbing it in the detective's face. Easy. Elisa is bound to go to the source of the problem. This will convince Elisa to take step 8. Hyena and Jackal attempt to murder Xanatos again, this time in Xanadu. Kinda tough. Fox tells them where to go, but how does he keep from dying? Hyena was a millimeter away from blowing his skull apart with a laser. It wasn't critical that the gargoyles show up, only that Derek get to prove himself. Of course, Xanatos knew the Gargs would show up. Again, what was the contingency plan? Zigzag and get to a weapon? David is never more than 2 yards from the firearm of some sort, so I imagine there's a few stashed around the retreat. The end game was to have the psychos arrested. But, I mean, even through all this, I'm assuming, like, maybe Owen was nearby when he was on the rooftop tackling Hyena and Jackal, and there was probably some security forces around to just sort of biding their time. But, still very, very risky for something that, may not even work, because with Derek, you can't guarantee that he's going to do exactly what Xantos wants. But Xantos did a really good job of reading his psychology. Additional notes. Xantos' plan is incredibly audacious. He's confident enough in his knowledge of Derek's nature and human nature in general that he's not only didn't keep the plan a secret from Elisa, he told Fox to tell Elisa. And, I guess it's not even that easy that Elisa went to talk to Fox. I mean, I guess it was kind of logical that she would, but she's not always logical. It was a source of great amusement between him and Fox, no doubt. While Fox's words might sound like bragging, she was 100% accurate. Xantos was ahead of them the whole time. He got what he wanted, and they couldn't do anything to stop him. Final thoughts. This is an interesting episode. We know Xantos isn't by nature a vengeful man, but here he is going out of his way to recruit Elisa's brother in a way to is it a way to discover the Gargoyles' hiding place? Does David even still care? Sure, it'd be nice to know, but it's not a priority. Is this just to annoy her while getting a good chopper pilot? It'd be interesting to see where Derek goes as a character. Perhaps this is about putting Elisa in her place so she stops bugging Xantos. It's nice to have a bit of leverage against Elisa. Maybe she'll reconsider her constant tailing and snooping. She needed to know she was running with the big dogs. Will we see that idiotic chopper again? If so, how are they getting fuel? And 2020 moment, I'm glad we do not ever see that again. Next up is another favorite episode, Reawakening. We meet some old friends and enemies. Science and sorcery make an unholy union, while antagonists from an unholy alliance make a creature straight out of literature. What did you think of the ep? Did you guess Thanatos' plan? Comment. You can do that here or in the blog. I really like this episode, even though a lot of the plot is a little bit far-fetched. But still got a lot of great Xanatos moments, and Owen as well. So you really can't knock it too much. Alright, well, remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the things, and we'll catch you in the next one.